This is a Global Original Podcast. As you may be able to hear from the racket going on above me, I'm recording this from a building site, which I'm using as a flat. This week, it's from spring 2019, when the baby tornado was due to arrive, and some people had made special preparations.
Is he crazy, or is that just the way he acts?
So, like I said, the blimp is going to be back. The blimp is back. And the balloon will be back as well. The blimp of the president as an angry baby is coming back. That's the one that we saw flown during Donny's visit last year, which caused him to stay indoors and sulk and refuse to come out and open his new embassy, like a big baby blimp. And on top of that, there's a new attraction from China. Have you seen this? I said, there can't be any other leader on Earth that gains this kind of response. But there is no other leader on Earth that's more powerful than he is. He's the President of the United States of America. Can you believe it?
I'm president. Can you believe it?
There's this new attraction, a 16-foot talking robot of Donald Trump. How alarming does that sound? It gets worse. It's a 16-foot talking robot of Donald Trump sitting on a gold toilet, with his trousers around his ankles while tweeting, and emits breaking wind noises and recordings of Trump saying, "No collusion, fake news, and I'm a very stable genius." Because very stable geniuses always feel the need to tell people that that's what they are. Einstein was forever yelling across car parks about how smart he is. Thousands of protesters, let's say hundreds of millions of protesters, are expected to stage a demonstration outside Buckingham Palace during a royal banquet on Monday. Well, he ain't going to hear you. I mean, all the main rooms are inward facing or back into the garden. The Women's Peace Council is staging a rally called the People's Banquet because it doesn't believe that Mr. Trump deserves this red carpet treatment. Well, there's no end of for people who run other countries that don't deserve the red carpet treatment that get it. Usually because they're coming here to buy a lot of weapons. That's the nature of our ethical foreign policy. We don't care who you are as long as you've got a lot of money. That's why we always roll the red carpet out when the Saudis come to town. I would suggest that the Saudis have a lot more to protest about. No, wait. That we have a lot more to protest about the Saudis' actions than we do about Donald Trump. Although, maybe it's tight. Shadow Foreign Secretary Emily Thornberry announced that she would be attending the main rally and urged her supporters to join her. She said she's marching because the US president is destroying all the values that have always united Britain and America. Like what? What values have united Britain and America? Money? That's it. Dawn Butler, MP, Labour's Women and Equalities spokesperson. Well, it says here spokesman, but that got to be wrong. Sexist. Dawn Butler, MP, is Labour's Women and Equalities spokesperson, unless that's speciesist. And Dawn is issuing a rallying call to activists, saying if you do one thing next week, it's come out on your lunch break and stand up against Trump. Stand up against all of the hatred that he uses to elevate himself and say, not here, not in our country. We don't want it, and we don't want you. That's what Dawn Butler, MP, Labour's Women's and Equalities spokesperson, said. I think the women really, really hate you, Donny.
I will be so great to women. I cherish women.
They dislike you a very great deal indeed. And when he came here last year, he only spent, a few hours in London, and pretty much refused to come out, like he was like a sulking, stroppy teenager. And that's because people were flying that big blimp. He only spent a few hours in London to avoid most of the protesters. And he said that he thinks, this time around, he thinks that everybody loves him, a very great deal indeed. Or he hopes everybody loves him, and he thinks everybody loves him, and the people think he's huge and tremendous and great. Does anybody think that?
No.
And furthermore...
No.
Only a couple of hours he could stand it. And the people were yelling their support, they said. He said he had been made to feel unwelcome, and he said he might never visit London again. Really? Liar! But I suppose the prospect of a free dinner and lashings of flattery coaxed him back. Lawrence says, have you seen the new BBC drama Years and Years? No, I have not. I think you'd like it, he says, because although it's a family drama, it also makes lots of predictions about politics and the state of the world. Would be curious to know what you think. I think I haven't seen it. Predictions? What, as in spoiler alerts?
Warning, warning.
Well, don't tell us. Macca says, well, where is this Glasgow you describe? It's been a perfect day and is dry, says Macca. I very much doubt that. That's what it says on my app. Apps never lie. Mike says, I will be proudly welcoming Donald Trump to our country. We need to be doing all that we can to ensure a good future relationship with our biggest ally. Biggest? What, you mean fat? Well, that's just plain rude. He's big-boned. Biggest ally. You can't trust Donald Trump. He just signed a trade deal with Mexico and then turns around, he wakes up grumpy and then slaps a 5% tariff on everything that they import to America. It's just incredible what's going on over there at the moment. He thinks he's doing great and tremendous things because he goes to these safe space rallies and these drooling, toothless yeehaws in the Make America White Again hats. They cheer and yell and holler support. But the rest of the country hates him like poison. He's the only president in history, well, I think since the Second World War, who has never, ever, ever got above 50% approval. The worst president ever. But he surrounds himself with people who know that in order to get on his good side, the only way to get on his good side, well, there's two ways. Either give him a lot of money or you praise him and flatter him constantly. Those are the only two ways. Which one are you using, Nige?
I'm a nutcase.
He was complaining about not getting an audience. Complaining he was.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
I suppose I'll get to that in a while. Where is this Glasgow you describe? It's been a perfect day and is dry. I don't think so. My app says it's actually raining at this minute. Now, why would you lie about that? Something that I could check. He said, trying to check. But my phone doesn't either recognize my face or my fingerprint. Stupid phone. It's raining now. What you took? Oh no, it'll be raining at 1 a.m. So if you can hang on just long enough, it'll be raining momentarily. Always around the corner in Glasgow. Ron says, is this the same lavish banquet that Uncle Jezza turned down? I'll keep an eye out for him at Islington's Mackie D's on Monday. It could possibly be at Mackie D's on Monday, yeah. Just keep him away from the milkshakes. And Paul in Exeter says, the Queen probably thinks a Big Mac's a Scottish caber thrower. Okay, enough of the jokes. I don't do jokes. I've got 1 minute till the news, so it sounds like a good time to take this call. Newcastle, hello, Ken.
Good evening, Nick. Who do you hate the most, Nick? Donald Trump or Jesus?
You.
No, there must be something more to this than you're saying, Nick. You're obsessed with your hatred of Donald Trump and Jesus, Nick. I'm sad for you. Sad for you, my friend.
Nick, will you accept Jesus into your life?
Sad for you, Nick.
Have you accepted Jesus into your life, Nick?
He could change your life. He would change your life.
Yeah,
you
who?
Jesus,
Donny
you're a
or
very
Jesus?
unhappy man.
Yeah, I know. I
You're an unhappy man,
I sound really, really unhappy, Ken, because you sound happy. Every single week, pretty much the first caller. That's how happy he is. Have you accepted Jesus into your life, Nick? It's like one of those people that you get stuck on, sitting next to on a long-haul flight.
Oh, no.
You'd think, right, at 30,000 feet, you'd have had enough and think, right, that's it, I'm leaving.
And he's a great guy, and he's an honest guy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Donny, you're the best. This says, did you say that the royal table would be decorated with Dutch caps? I did more or less say that, yeah. Yes, in case Randy Andy gets any ideas. You might not be sharing a bed with your beloved, Melania. What do you think about that?
I don't care.
Paul in Mansfield says, I used to think you was a pure leftist, but you just talk sense. I think I've woke up. I don't know. Does that make sense?
No.
Frank in Egremont says, sadly, Mr. Trump suffers from Dunning-Kruger effect. I rest my case. And the Dunning-Kruger effect is a psychological... Oh, God, the lights have just gone out. One moment, please. I'm waving my arms in the air like I just don't care. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a psychological phenomenon in which people mistakenly assess their cognitive ability as greater than it is. Yeah, well, that sounds completely correct in every respect. It's related to the cognitive bias of illusory superiority and comes from the inability of people to recognize their lack of ability.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Yeah, spot blooming on. Let's have a call in London, mate. Charles.
Yes, good evening. You said at the beginning of your diatribe...
Yes, rant.
What I'll call it. Rant, yes. That...
Can you remember back that far?
Our invitee, if I can call him that...
If you must.
Went to Wharton University, which does not...
I didn't. I did not say that. Those words have not escaped my lips.
Well, what did you say?
Well, you want me to recap the last 35 minutes?
No, I'm going back to the very beginning of your...
Yeah, I have mentioned nothing about Wharton.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said that Wharton University does not exist.
No, I said that... Oh, okay. No, what I did say was that what Donald Trump knows about business, you could write on the back of one of those useless degrees from his phony university. Not Wharton, the Donald Trump University.
No. You meant Wharton University.
No, I didn't.
Well, you must have done.
Okay. Wow, he's reading my mind. No, I did not. I meant his phony university that he set up to scam people. That's how rich Donald Trump is. He had to set up a phony university in order to scam people out of tens of thousands of dollars to give them a useless degree.
I make $400 million a year, so what difference does it make?
Yeah, sure you do, Donnie. Sure you do. Prove it. I double dare you. You won't, will you? But anyway, Charles, better luck next time. Why don't you pay more attention?
What the hell is going on?
Martin in Rotherhithe says, hello, Nick, mate. I'm a true Londoner. Family born in South London for generations, all the way back to 1066. And just like every other true Londoner I know, we will all welcome Trump when he gets here. He's done no harm, and he's making the USA great again. And what's wrong with that? So, Nick, from all the true Londoners, welcome Donald Trump, says Martin, who I do believe is trolling us. Back under your bridge, troll. He's calling County Armagh. Hello, Lewis.
Hello, Nick.
Lewis.
I love listening to your programme. I suppose you and Ian Dale is great from it. But what I like about your programme is it reminds me of a programme that used to be on years ago called Have I Got News For You, but only your programme is better. But to get to the point...
I think that's still on, isn't it? Have I Got News For You?
I'm not sure. I used to watch it. But,
yeah, I used to watch it too. But then they fired Angus Deaton, who was the
now.
funniest person on that show. And then I thought, yeah, okay, it's a pass.
It's
a pass from me.
Good. But, no, what I was thinking, Nick, would be I would like you to represent Britain instead of the politicians and the Queen. Because the Queen's just going to say to him, have you come far?
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit like...
And what do you do? She'll say.
It reminds me a wee bit of like an action man. You used to get back in the 60s and 70s. You pulled the string.
Yeah.
You only got about 4 words out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that you could set Donald Trump straight in a way that Steve Allen never could. And Donnie could even invite you to the White House. And to put it this way, if he can make friends with Kim Jong-un, he can surely make friends with you.
With me, yeah. You think so? I'll do it. For the good of the country, I will step forward and do it. It is my duty. All right, thanks a lot, Lewis. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. I will step into Theresa May's shoes. I won't be able to walk in them right enough, but then, to be fair, neither can she. They don't suit you, Mrs. M. Put some sensible shoes on. And drop that ridiculous necklace. It looks like some sort of medieval weapon. Just take it off. Jen emails, I live close to Stansted, and yesterday evening some American military Osprey helicopters flew overhead in the direction of the airport. Is Donald having his tanning lotion and hairspray delivered in bulk in advance of his glorious visit? It's just a theory, says Jen. Yeah, but it's either his hairspray or superglue or whatever it is that keeps that thing that hovers above his bald pate in place. I think it's a drone. Military technology is involved. I'm pretty sure about that. And Paul tweets, it's comedy gold with you and Ken. Please give him 5 minutes. I will not. No, I will not give him 5 minutes. I heard from the Lord directly that he is not to be given 5 minutes. I let Jesus into my life, and that's what Jesus told me. Jason in Leighton says, are the lights going out due to the fact that you haven't accepted Jesus into your heart? Well, that might be it. That was my first and probably last big mistake. Is it getting hot in here? And Rob says, Donald Trump reminds me of a Southend-on-Sea amusement arcade owner back from 1950. Well, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. Except you, Rob. But thanks for letting us know. What was the guy's name? A Southend-on-Sea amusement arcade owner from 1950. Well, how does that help? That's not helping us. Unless we met him. Of course, there is one person that Donald Trump's not going to be able to meet, and that is Meghan Sparkles.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she said, hell no, I'm not going. Or words to that effect. Donald Trump has expressed surprise. He said, oh, at comments made by the Duchess of Sussex, who is Meghan Sparkles. I bet if I went to the street and asked, who's the Duchess of Sussex, I bet I'd be met with dumbstruck faces. Does anybody have any idea? I bet not. The Duchess of Sussex is Meghan Sparkles. And she says she doesn't want to meet him. She's just, expressing her inner thought. She's been talking bad about him since he became the President of the United States of America. Can you believe that he is the President of the United States of America?
I'm president. Can you believe it?
He's stunned himself. The President said that I didn't know she was nasty. No, wait. The President said I didn't know she was nasty. That's what he said. Meghan Sparkles said that he was misogynistic and divisive. And Donald Trump's response was, oh, I didn't know she was nasty. He whined.
I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining.
Really, this is if I'll restate my case. If aliens from space came to visit this planet, which apparently they have, more and more evidence is coming out from the American military. They've got videos of them. But anyway, if they did come here, assuming that they aren't here already, if aliens from space came down and asked to see our leader, we'd have to introduce them to Donald Trump. How embarrassing is that for the human race? This is the best that we've got? Meghan Sparkles said that Donald Trump was misogynistic and divisive. And Donald Trump's reaction to that was... I don't know where the trolling stops and the narcissism begins. I mean, you don't know whether is he serious or is he just saying it to get a rise out of us? Donald Trump said that he didn't know that the Duchess of Sussex was nasty. I mean, he's the man who had sex with a porn star while one of his wives was pregnant. When his wives get over 40 years old, he tosses them out like a used Kleenex. He's the creep who said he gets to wander through the dressing room of Miss Teen America contests because he owns the show. And they're totally naked. He's the man who said women let him grab them by the bleep because he's famous. He's the man who's accused by 12 different women of unwanted physical contact in the last 3 years. Misogynistic. And as for divisive, how about separating children from their mothers and then not giving them back for months on end just to make a point about border crossing? And when it all blew up, he said that it was the fault of the Democrats, which was a lie, and that he wouldn't do that anymore, but continued to do it. He's still doing it now. There's thousands of children who have been torn from their families and put in detention centres. Children. And all because he wants to shout about tackling immigration at one of the safe space rallies to those yeehaws in their Make America White Again hats. Because he wants to hear their approval. He's like he's like the evil Mick Jagger. Just can't get off stage. The roar of the crowd. I mean, I think that Meghan Markle was being kind, and Trump's accusing her of being nasty. He is the absolute archetypal bully. He lurches around the playground, hitting kids smaller than himself, and when one of them puts their hands up to defend themselves, he runs and tells teacher he's being picked on. I mean, Meghan Markle's going to be missing the state visit because she's on maternity leave with baby Archie, and she can only be expected to deal with one baby at a time, right? She ain't dealing with that baby. She's got a team of people dealing with that baby. Who's she kidding? Back in 2016, during an interview, she said, you don't want to live in the kind of world that Donald Trump is painting. And speaking about the Duchess's comments to the Sun, Donald Trump says, I didn't know that. What can I say? I didn't know she was that nasty, he said. Well, wait till you hear what Boris Johnson said.
I think Donald Trump is clearly out of his mind.
He can't know that Boris Johnson has said that. He just can't. Because he wouldn't let that lie. He'd want to smash Boris Johnson into the ground. Just like he's been doing that to everybody that's crossed him his entire life. It's probably because he is that toxic combination of a narcissistic personality disorder with the feeling that he's just not up to the job of any job that he's ever done. That he hasn't got Daddy's approval. That Daddy was kind of disapproving, really. Daddy kept bailing him out over and over and over again. And he lied about that $1 million loan that he turned into $1 billion. No, he didn't. That was a lie. It wasn't $1 billion. It wasn't $1 million that his daddy gave him. It was $400 million. And he lost it over and over again. An abysmal businessman. And the trail of destruction that he's left behind him. But see, this is the... Okay, Ken, are you listening? That's proof positive there ain't no such thing as God. Donald Trump. I rest my face. Here's a call in Belsize Park. Judy.
Hello. Trump's visit.
Yeah.
It's just occurred to me, the one thing that we know about this man is his ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking, instead of spending all this money with the police and the demonstrations and everything, wouldn't it be far more effective if when he does his carriage ride or whatever it is, up the Mall, if there was not a single soul there?
I can do one better than that. When he arrives at Heathrow, there's nobody there to meet him. He has to make his way to the baggage carousel.
Well, no, you've got... they have to have official people there. But, you know, when he was inaugurated and became president, and he grossly exaggerated the number of people that were lining the streets.
Biggest crowd ever.
Ever.
He just kept going on, and he still goes on about it now.
Yes. Well, I'm just thinking, he's doing a carriage ride, I think, up the Mall with, I think, Prince Charles has been lumbered with it because the Queen's not going to do it. So I was just thinking how fabulous it would be if they put the crash barriers out and everything.
And no one showed up.
A soul was there.
I very much doubt they're going to do that. An open carriage ride up the Mall. I seriously doubt that is going to happen. And if it does, every single McDonald's within a 50-mile radius will be banned from selling milkshakes.
But don't they do that? Don't they? Somebody goes and greets him and then takes him somewhere to Buckingham Palace.
No, he's going to zip by in that tank that he calls a car. There ain't going to be no open carriage rides. I bet
he's not going to be in the carriage. Well, whatever he's in, I'm sorry, I'm describing this really badly, but I just think if the streets were deserted, it wouldn't cost us anything. There'd be no danger of people having punch-ups or anything. And it would affect him really, really badly, because we all know that what he wants is cheers and adoration and loads of people lining the streets. It's only an idea, anyway.
This is the problem with one of the problems with him, is that the news media are complicit in putting him where he is, essentially, because he was such great ratings. You couldn't take your eyes off him. It was like a constant, slow-moving car crash. And so they just kept putting him on TV all the time. They still do. His demented speeches, which go on for about a half an hour or an hour and a half, they put them on TV in America. It's they stop all programming and switch the cameras to him, because people are just sitting there open mouth. He's just running his mouth, and nobody can believe what he's coming out with. It's just ratings gold.
Yes. No, I understand that, but I was just thinking, I feel sorry for people who are going to sort of get into difficulties. There will be problems. We've got the police having to.
I think everybody's going to have a nice time. It's going to be just fine, as long as the weather will be all right. It'll be like a party atmosphere. There'll be a balloon, and everybody's going to be singing from the same songbook. I almost said the hymn sheet. Whoops. Ken will be on the phone any moment now. Betcha.
I think he's great. You ought to let him have his.
Yeah, well, he grates all right, if that's what you mean.
No,
Oh, please, come on.
You should have an open forum for all opinions, shouldn't you?
Sure. Anyway, on Monday it's going to be 68 degrees and sunny. See, that is perfect protesting weather. It was going to be tomorrow. It's going to be 77, which is a little bit on the hot side. But on the Monday, partly cloudy, a little bit of sun, 68 degrees. Tuesday, 67. So that's just, that'll be lovely. Lovely protesting weather. Great day to fly a balloon, I betcha.
Well, I still think my idea is worth considering, but it's a bit late now because everybody's planned all their protests, haven't they?
I suppose so.
I was thinking to go and protest, and then I thought, no, that's what he wants. He wants people waving. I mean, he will, people who are screaming abuse, he will translate that into that they're all cheering him. Yeah.
In his mind,
yes,
that is exactly where he will go. And if he says it out loud, he is the sort of twisted personality that will actually believe it. If he says it, he believes that it's true. So if he says that people are fully in support, because he said it already. He said, everybody here loves me. And then in typical Trump style, he said, they love me, or I hope they love me, and I think that they love me.
Can I tell you another theory I've got about the Duke of Edinburgh?
The Chucky Edinburgh?
Yeah, the Chucky. Do you think there's any relationship between the fact that he announced his retirement in order that he would never, ever have to attend anything that Trump came to? Because the poor Queen, she's got to go to the banquet.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
The Duke of Edinburgh won't go, will he? Because he's retired from public life now.
I don't know whether he's going to be going or not, but I do know that the Queen is famously a quick eater, and so by the time the Donnies started shoveling the burger down his throat, whatever special food he insists on having, then the Queen's going to put her knife and fork down, and everybody else has to stop eating too, which to me is a little bit rude, don't you think?
She has a bell, I think, under the a little button that she presses under the table. She has. No, they've said that she has a little button under the table that she presses, and that's the signal for them to come and clear. And if you haven't gobbled all your food down really quickly, because she doesn't eat a great deal, apparently, then all your plates disappear.
Isn't that terrible? See, now that's rude to me. If you went to somebody's dinner party and they weren't very hungry and they finished in a couple of bites, and because they'd finished, you have to stop eating too. That's just terrible, don't you think?
Yeah, but she's the Queen. So
Well, she's a very rude Queen.
No, she's not. I won't hear a word against the Queen. I love the Queen.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Judy.
Okay, thank
Ta-ta.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 0345 6060 973. I mean that very patriotically. Very, very rude Queen. I mean, if people have come all this way and they're feeling hungry, let them finish, for crying out loud. Just because you finish, why does everybody else have to stop eating? But you're doing a tremendous job, Your Majesty, what with the smiling and the well, of course, there's not much smiling, but we really like the waving. We appreciate the waving.
Thank you.
And that's it. If you subscribe to this podcast, you'll find the next episode gets squirted up your life as though by magic on Mondays. And don't forget that there's also a The Whole Show podcast, which is, as it sounds, the whole show from my stint on the radio with the ads and the news stripped out, which makes it quicker to listen to. You'll use less electricity and thereby save the planet. And there's the podcast that I do with Carol McGiffin called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which the delightful and often wrong Carol McGiffin and I try to solve people's problems while trying and failing to keep a straight face. If you would like us to have a bash at your problem, then send it to the following address, nickandcarol@global.com. That's nickandcarol@global.com. And ask for the podcast by name, What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, and prepare to be completely satisfied. And I'll be back on the radio Friday, Saturday and Sunday night at 10. And until then, I'll be seeing you.
Bye-bye.